Hooked Hook! You are locked into the Husker RB podcast with your hosts, Husker fanatic Brian Knutson, former Husker wide receiver Kenny Cheatham, and Husker recruiting guru Matt Sass. Follow him.
Yeah, Emmett's a guy that, when he was called on, made plays. He's one of our most athletic people, and in all his metrics, he's in the upper percentages. So he's just an elite athlete. I think for him, it's just about continuing to get reps, continuing to get comfortable. But he proved last year that he's a man who, when given the opportunity, can make yards and can make big plays. You think about the run he made to end that with Northwestern or Purdue, Purdue, I think. The run he made to set up the win against Maryland, which unfortunately didn't end up being a win. So he's made those big runs. He's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. Big spring for him.
Make some noise for a sophomore running back from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Emmett Johnson!
What's going on, everybody? Fall in at attention. You're locked into another episode of the Husker Army podcast, brought to you by the Real Husker Army Fan Page 2024 on Facebook. Go check them out. I am your host, Brian Knutson. With me, as always, former Husker wide receiver and multinational champion Kenny Cheatham. And we've got our recruiting guru with us today, of course, Mr. Matt Sass, a.k.a. Herbie Husker, and our guest. I couldn't wait to have this young man on. As soon as Ramir brought up that he could possibly be interested to come on, I was excited as hell. I can't wait to introduce current Husker running back, Mr. Emmett Johnson. How are you doing, Emmett?
Doing good, man. Just blessed to see another day. How you guys doing?
All right.
Doing wonderful.
Good.
Gotta show the enlisted graphic. I mean, everybody that shows up, becomes a part of the show, you're automatically enlisted into the Husker Army. So, get that one out of the way. Got to talk about it right off the bat, Emmett. The dunk over Coach Rhule. What was the conversation walking Coach up to the free throw line?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I was just thinking about it because we had dunk contests during mat drills, and so in my head, I was just thinking my first dunk had to be something that got the crowd going a little bit, and then in a dunk contest, your second one always got to top off the first one.
Yep.
So I was just thinking, like, my first original plan was to have a windmill off a lob. So I tried that the first time, got close to making it. And then they just said we only had like one or two tries. So I just windmilled to finish the first dunk, just to complete the first one. And then I texted Coach earlier in the day, and I was just like, if I land that first one, like, would you be willing to, participate in one of my dunks? And then, Coach replied. He agreed. He's like, I'm down for it. And then he was just like, wait, what do I have to do? And I just told him, all you got to do is just stand still, Coach. And, I'm going to try to jump over you. And so after that first dunk, they had a couple other good dunks going. And I kind of lined them up a little bit too far from the rim. I only tried practicing it one time before that. And so I kind of had them like lined up behind the arc, in which I should have moved them up a little bit. But I didn't really care. I was trying to shut the gym down. So something I was playing before. And then, I was really close to, finishing it, which is a crazy part from that far out. But I just know that, if I had another attempt, I probably would have made it. But it was just a fun experience overall.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was watching that. I didn't want to put that as the last clip because you didn't make it. But I was just like, man, you're the only one that included Coach Rhule in on that. And that was a ballsy move. It really was. I mean, Kenny, you got a kick out of seeing that one, man.
That was
Is that something you guys would have done with Coach Osborne back in the day?
Nah, his bones was a little too fragile, so he wasn't able to handle all that pressure.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I mean, might as well talk about it. Spring practice is in full bloom, full effect. Spring game is less than 3 weeks away. Can't wait to be there. You guys got to be excited. What is it looking like right now, early on in spring practice? How's the team feeling?
Yeah, I'll say the team's definitely feeling, really well compared to last season. I think we're already a step ahead of where we were. We have a lot of younger freshmen that early enrolled and came in early. They're already way ahead than the freshmen from last season. So that just shows what Coach Rhule is teaching us, and the extra work and extra hours we're spending in the film room and learning the playbook and everything. But I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of talent on the field. It's been a lot of competition that we've been doing every practice, and everybody's been rising to the occasion. And I'm just really excited to get going with this team.
I think you might be in one of the most competitive positions on the team right now at running back. I mean, it's a hell of a stable. It's a deep stable. I mean, Gabe Irvin's going to be coming back from injury from last year. I mean, what is the thought process right now in that running backs room?
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of competition. For me personally, I love competing. I feel like competition's always where the best guys, best players show out. And so I like the fact that it's, competitive. I wouldn't really want it to be a room that, nobody's pushing me to get better. I'm not pushing anybody else to get better. So I think we all feel off of each other. And I think it's going to be a really fun spring. We've already been competing well. Some of those guys being injured to come back in the fall. It'll be fun to compete in the fall again, too. So, I'm ready to compete, and, may the best man win.
I hear that. I mean, Matt, me and you have talked about the roster this year, the returners we got on defense, returners we got on offense. I mean, running backs look pretty stout, I'd say.
No, yeah.
That's what I'd say, too. So, I mean, everything I've heard out of camp is that, yeah, you guys got a pretty deep room. I mean, with the new guy coming in, Dowdell, and just, I mean, it said, from everything I've read, it's just he's swimming in it a little bit with picking up blitz packages and stuff like that. But I know that takes time, so I'm not too worried about it. I love the room.
No, yeah, for sure.
Kenny, your thoughts? I mean, you being a wide receiver back in your day here, you were a glorified lineman for the most part, so you got to watch these guys run by you all the time when you're taking care of business downfield. But, I mean, you saw the progress out of these running backs last season, how they made that jump. I mean, Ramir, Emmett himself, what they did last season was nothing short of awesome. It really was.
Yeah, it was almost like the next man was up, but that's how you have to prepare yourself. Every practice has to be that you're preparing yourself to play in the game. It's unfortunately on the next level, you see a lot of second players, let's say second string guys like the quarterbacks come in there unprepared. Now we know that's a rep because of numbers, but in college you should be able to get enough reps to have yourself prepared. And if you hold each other accountable for going in where you don't miss a beat, you should come in and do like these guys did last year. So, I mean, if they can do that and just be ready, because as a competitor, you can get down when you're not in there. When you're like, oh, I can go in there. I could have hit that hole a little bit harder. It's hard. You guys know that.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're sitting there and you want to play, and this guy might just be better schemed, but your time comes, you go in there and you make it count. So,
yeah.
I mean, what are we about 5 or 6 deep, maybe 7 deep in the running back room?
Yeah, we're probably about like seven deep.
Yeah, which is good. So, I mean, it's been some years since we've been that deep. If we can continue to do that at all positions, you're literally going to go and be back to the old Coach Osborne and Devanier. We were 6, 7 deep at every position, and that was one of our strengths. I know they changed the format about how many kids can be on the roster, walk-ons and all of that, how many practices. But we got those reps, so when we jumped in the next year or during that year, it was like you didn't miss a beat. So that's good to hear, man.
No, for sure. I agree with what he said too, because I mean, even watching the film from last season, I'm just like looking at everything that I could do better. Like every time I came in the film room, I wasn't, kind of look at the things I did well. I was trying to improve after each game. And as the season went on more and more, the confidence grew. And I think this year it's like everything's second nature to me now. I feel like not almost a veteran, of the game now. And just every step that I'm taking now, I'm just focusing on the little details, focusing on having a deliberate practice, like working on one thing. If I need to get better in pass pro, work on that one day try to work on, catching every single ball, great technique, my vision, everything. I'm just trying to become a complete back. And watching film from last year, that's helped me get to this point.
Matt, I mean, any questions you got burning for Emmett before we go on to a different topic?
Not really. I mean, who is the main leader in the room right now? I mean, you got Ramir. He's the old cat.
He's the vet.
Who really is like the true like workhorse in the room? Or I mean, are you guys going to be running like a running back by committee type deal? Or
yeah, I'm honestly not sure how they're going to do it, but Ramir's been experienced for a while, a long time. Me and him talk every day. We're really close and everything, but I would say, I've had a chance to be a leader this offseason, even in the team competitions that we just, got done. I was considered a leader, and that's something I've been a leader by example mostly, but the vocal aspect of it, I've just becoming more and more of a leader. And I would say, yeah, we got older guys like Ramir's like the old cat of the room, and then, Gabe's a little younger. So I would say me, Gabe, Ramir are becoming the main leaders of the running back group.
Yeah, and then like 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, who's getting the ball for the win? When we need 1 yard, that's it to put the game away. Who's getting the ball?
Well, I think it should be me.
Yeah, good answer.
That's a winner mentality right there.
Yeah.
Winners want the
That's all I
ball.
want to hear.
Especially to win the game, man. I need the ball.
Well, that's what you did for us against Purdue. You put that thing away.
Yeah.
Man, I love that highlight. God, I remember texting you that day. I was like, man, I'm literally sitting here watching a replay of the Purdue game right now, and dude, you got some power in those legs. I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, for sure. I think the off season is a big part of my success too. Like I put on 10 more pounds. I'm around 200 pounds now, so I think it'll be a big part of this next season as well.
Yeah. Kenny, back in your day, I mean, you're used to our running backs being, 215, 230 on average, and they ran like Mack trucks.
Yeah.
Today's day and age has changed.
Yeah.
Players have gotten a tad smaller, but the game's quicker in more aspects than not. So looking at like what Emmett just said, putting on another 10 pounds of, I'm sure what it is, muscle, what's that going to equal to see what you used to see back in the day?
I think it goes into what everything he just spoke about. Your biggest transition when you get to college football and even the NFL, NBA, whatever the next level is going to be between that first and second year.
Yeah.
And everything he talked about from coming in as a freshman and playing and seeing what he needs to work on is the biggest transition. Physically, it's also the biggest transition because I went from 190 pounds going into after spring ball, I was 240 pounds. They have to take off of the weights. So it's night and day as far as transition wise on how you're going to be. But to see that because the game is smaller, it is more option, what they call it option.
Yeah,
Spread.
That's spread option, read, whatever. It's not line up and run straight. So I can see the backs being smaller and understand why they're smaller around that 200, 205, 210 range.
Yeah.
You think about the guys we had 220, 225, 230, but built like Mack trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of the fullbacks. I mean, I remember the first time I saw Corey Schlesinger, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" This dude's neck started, I think, above his ears. Above his ears.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? The legs were bigger than two of mine, and I'm like, because the style of the game has changed so much. So That's good. As long as he keeps the strength up,
Mm-hmm.
with the speed, that's good to hear, man. You know, these two, Brian and Matt, they really watch you guys. I'm a little bit more old school, bro. I'm a little bit more. I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. So that's why I said what I said at the beginning. But when
We're
you
the
hear about
Kool-Aid drinkers.
it's
Yeah,
always
I'll be at the spring game, and I hate to do this, but I will critique every single player I see on the field, and I will be there with my family, and I can't even help it, to be honest. I try not to. I try to just enjoy and watch the game, but I can't help myself. I have to have my 2 cents on everything.
Well, at least what I'm sure you've noticed already, Emmett, in Nebraska, this is all we have, man. So you guys are it to us. I mean, I'm gonna be 42 next month, and I still look up to you guys.
Sure.
Like, you guys embody this state. You guys keep the blood pumping in this state. So, as a true blue, red-blooded Husker fan from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you guys enough for just everything you do.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Going back to what Kenny said too, as well. Like with the game nowadays, in the NFL, it's changing. Like you see guys like McCaffrey. I wouldn't really consider myself just a running back. Like I consider myself a weapon because you got to be able to run routes. You got to be able to catch the ball at the backfield. I think those are the running backs that are changing today's game and getting paid more. With the running back shortage now, people think running back shouldn't be paid as much, but we pass block, we catch the ball at the backfield, and we run the ball. So, that's like something that I'm trying to, have in my game is have no weakness. You can line me up in the slot one play, line me up in the backfield, and be able to do different things. So when it comes to receivers, I can do the same things they can do, and I can run the ball. So that just ups your value in the league. So.
which is good because I think, and I'm going to say this, and these two guys are going to agree, I think the game has finally caught up to the great Chuck Foreman and the great Roger Craig.
Yeah.
As far as what they were doing in the 70s and the 80s with being multifaceted running backs.
Yeah.
I think it was more, I think Marshall Faulk helped put it more on the mainstream.
Yeah,
There's
that's more my era.
There's
Marshall Faulk, Daniel Tomlinson. So
yeah, LT is somebody I watch a lot.
So it's good to see, it's good to hear, and I think football is catching up with that as far as offensively because those guys can remember, and I can remember where he's the third down back, which means they were probably going to be in a passing situation, which means he had better hands than the other back.
Yep.
So the ones who could do it all back then were anomalies. Am I right, fellas?
Yep.
So
yep.
It was, he can catch, and you're like, oh, okay. It was like a new thing, or it was different. That he was special if he can catch the ball. So, but that's good to hear, man. So,
yes, sir.
That's good. But I gotta pick on you real quick, Emmett.
Yeah.
Is that a family name?
No.
Family name?
Nah, it's not no family name.
Boy, look here, man.
A lot of people, they, talking about it's Emmett Smith. I'm just like, nah.
Hey, man. When I saw that name, I said, man, they must have had this kid in a time warp or something. That's an old school name. I'm like, who in the hell name is in 2000? Hey, man.
Hey, those old school names are coming back, though, man. Like, my middle son's name is Fletcher. Come on, you don't see that ever anymore.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, man, I said, Emmett, oh, my God, this guy's been in a time warp in the cocoon for a bunch of years, and they didn't whoop this man out. He's going to be a throwback.
Man.
Hey, man. Salute, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got to admit, Emmett, he texted me that, and I was like, I don't know if it's a family name or not, man. You're going to have to ask him.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Going back to what you said, though, Emmett, about being the complete back, especially being a receiving back. I mean, you averaged over 6.5 yards a catch last season. Granted, just 7 receptions. But, I mean, that shows that you've got the ability to catch that ball out of the backfield. You got the ability to run a route, like you said, like a receiver. Are you looking to get more of those catches this year than maybe more yards receiving than possibly rushing?
Yeah, for sure. I would say definitely whatever the team needs to win the game. One game I might need to catch the ball at the backfield 10 times or more for us to win. One game I might need to, run downhill at somebody. One game I might need to run outside zone, so just whatever the team needs. But I'm willing to do that just because I know that I work on it, and it's something that I take big pride on. So being able to catch the ball at the backfield is something that I work on every day. You see me after practice every single day, catching extra passes, working on my routes I've been getting with receivers, and just going over those things, because especially having linebackers guard me in the Big Ten, I just feel like that's just the biggest mismatch I could ask for.
Yep.
I'm just trying to perfect that every single day. Just go from there. But I'm willing to do whatever the team needs to win. Some games I might need to catch the ball more. Some games I might need to run the ball more. So
That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. That was the perfect answer.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the workload should get better with better quarterback play too. So I mean, not to harp on any of those guys.
I was going to say they were his teammates.
I'm not, not at all. But
we got to pull back a little.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, the two new freshman quarterbacks, they're pretty dang good.
Yeah,
so
they've been doing really well. They've been coming along really well so far.
Yeah.
Seemed like their development's looking really good during practice and everything, I take it.
Yeah, I mean, for freshmen especially, it's hard to transition from high school to college and trying to be that leader right away out of high school when you haven't really shown or proven anything. So I think those guys have, earned the respect of other people so far, and they've been coming along really well. They've been studying the playbook. You'll see them before a workout in the morning, just throwing passes to people. They work really hard, which is something that I'm glad to see, because work ethic is everything at this level. The guys that are willing to do more and do extra, those are the guys that usually end up being more successful in life. So
now I know quarterbacks and receivers really need to feel that chemistry come along as the season goes. How about yourself and the new quarterbacks? How's that chemistry coming?
Yeah, it's been really well. Dylan, I talk to him almost every day. We text and stuff, and Danny's been my quarterback for the Old Gold Knights. I don't know if you guys have seen the 3 different teams they split us up into, but he's my quarterback for Old Gold Knights, and we've been building chemistry that way too. Heinrich, I've been playing with him in practice, getting some reps with him as well. So I would say like all 3 of them. Heinrich's been a guy that from last year, and me and him became close. Even before we started, before he started and before I started, the season before my freshman year, me and him were, getting reps together and stuff like that. But he's turned into like a veteran of the group too. So he's teaching Danny and Dylan, some of the things that they need to know to be successful. And then, Dylan and Danny, they're just, funny guys. Dylan's a funny quarterback to be around. I always say that, he reminds me of Mahomes, so much of Patrick Mahomes. Like, he plays just like him. Everything he does, he walks like them. Like,
that's exactly what I was saying when I watched this film too. I was like, dude, he looks like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he came in here with a Chiefs jacket the other day. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
He's got the same haircut.
Yeah. Matt's a Colts fan, Emmett. Matt's a diehard Colts fan. So
yeah, for sure, man.
Jonathan Taylor. So
yeah.
Yeah, and the knock on him when he was entering the draft was that he can't catch out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So right there just goes to show how much the game's changed, and that was obviously not true because he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he proved it. He had a really good, this past season was really good.
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy, he's good.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Kenny's day, wasn't it? Just give the running back the ball and get the hell out of the way.
Pretty much.
No, they call passes.
LP did. Lawrence did quite a bit.
Yeah, they were more option than the wide receivers. Shit. So
yeah.
I mean, they caught passes.
Yeah, I heard Nebraska back in the day at triple option, man. Like nobody could stop it. Nobody.
Our linemen used to tell the defensive lineman, "Hey, we're running this play right here. Stop it if you can."
Yeah,
that's Wiegert from Fremont.
Yep.
He used to do it all the time.
Yeah, it was different, man. It was it literally can be ran in today's game and will be unstoppable.
Yeah,
it's just I think
Georgia
Tech just stopped running it with their last coach. Am I correct? But they didn't have the horses or weren't running it right. I mean, we were like a machine, man. It was we were coming at you for 4 quarters plus, and it was nasty. It was but football was. I would say that, and it's not to diminish the game now. Football was more physical for us then.
Oh God!
Like when I see you guys practicing, and I understand times have changed. When I see you guys, I'm like, oh, they're in pads, and they say something about it. I'm like, oh, they're in pads. That's something to write about. We hit.
Yeah.
We hit Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So
Yeah.
to explain everyone, when you say that how physical we were, Monday was half pads and we still hit. Tuesday was full pads and we still hit. Everything was live, full team skeleton, 7-on-7, 1-on-1s, etc.
Yeah.
Wednesday was full pads and we still hit with the
Mhm.
live scrimmage and the live goal line scrimmage.
Man.
Thursday was we sped through everything, so it was sped up. That was helmets. Friday was the walkthrough. So
Yeah.
that was our week. So when even bowl games, when we went to bowl games, when we got off the plane, we had a full 3-hour scrimmage.
Yeah.
Not the next day. We got off the airplane, we went to the practice, and we had a game simulation. Everything's live,
Man.
scrimmage. Our spring game was live. It wasn't, oh, we do this. It was ones versus ones, twos versus twos,
Yeah.
full contact. More people got injured in spring football than they did in the games. And it's the truth. Our injuries
Yeah.
came from spring and fall, and because we were live dogs the entire time. So our mentality going into games when we played other teams that weren't physical or practicing in that manner was, this is nothing to us. This is what we're used to. So in the game, they're worn down. If you go back and look at some of those tapes, watch how they're running from blocks.
Yeah.
Watch how they're putting their hands and they're moving away
Yeah.
from receivers, from the linemen, from the running backs, fullbacks. They're avoiding the blocks because they're not used to getting hit like that. So it was something.
Now, yeah, Coach Brown, because he recruited me here and everything. I don't know if you know Coach Ron Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he told me about that too back in the day. He showed me some film, and it was like the receivers. That's what really impressed me. They're blocking 40 yards
We
down.
had to.
Yeah,
We had to. That was part of the offense. Yeah, Coach Brown was my coach, bro. So
oh yeah,
Yeah, he's been there a minute. He's been there a minute.
for a minute. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we did, bro. And you would have to understand that probably all the running backs yards that's come through there during that time, you can attribute more than half, probably 75% of those yards to the receivers blocking downfield.
yeah.
It's just what it is, because defenders would run from those blocks and there's the lane. Running through it. So
That builds that tough mentality too as well. Like, I feel like the mentality was probably different back then. Like the game is probably way easier than what we're used to in practice. Like that's how great teams are built, I feel like.
Yeah.
Now,
You gotta
Emmett,
practice how you go play.
talking about the coaches, I mean, last year with it being Coach Rhule's first year and the rest of the staff, it was kind of the feeling out process, and we saw this team and this coaching staff grow exponentially as the season went on. I mean, granted, we fell one win short of that bowl eligibility. There's no question about it this year. That's for damn sure. What's the biggest change you've seen from players getting that first introduction with Coach Rhule and the rest of the staff to this season?
Yeah, I would definitely say the biggest change is, we know what to expect now. The coaches know what to expect from us. We know what to expect from them. The first year was kind of a year where we're still, getting to know each other and learn things about people. But now it's like, a lot of those close games that we lost last year, our main goal for this year, we're chasing those 3 points. A lot of the games we lost were by 3 points in close games. So it's more of like now taking that action and actually doing it. Last year, we preached it and everything, but some of those games we didn't finish, the way we wanted to. But now it's like we know what to expect. We know that, when the close games come, that's when we're going to have to chase those 3 points. We're going to have to finish games, and that's what we're straining for right now. So I'll say from year 1 to year 2, now it's just like we expect to, be that team. Last year we expected to be it too, but, the actions didn't really, match what we were talking about. Like I know one of the best games in my opinion that we had was the Illinois game. We lost to Michigan, and Coach Rhule, we came to practice the next day. It was supposed to be a film and walkthrough day, and we just lined it up on the field and we just scrimmaged each other the whole practice. And I think that was like a turning point in our season last year. He just lined it up and let us play football, and everybody was just going all out, like giving all out effort, because when it's time to compete, we rise to the occasion. So I think him just letting us play football and play against each other when it came to the game, like Kenny said, it felt a lot easier, because in practice, all we did was line it up and go against each other the whole practice. That's all we did. And so I think, this year we know what to expect now from the staff. And I could say, like, overall, our team's become way more physical from like last season to this season. Our defense has been, flying around the ball like crazy this year. The freshmen that just came in are flying around to the ball. So it's like a standard that we live by, that we're just living by now. And I think we're going to do great things this season for sure.
Well, I got to tell you, my blood's boiling a tad bit right now. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, God, I can't even wait. I mean, Matt, you and I go through this every season. Every damn season.
I know.
Every off season. I guzzle Kool-Aid like a son of a bitch. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I do every year. I predict that we're going to be in the conference title game. We're going to be in the playoff. I don't care. That's how much I believe. Matt, always the optimist. Matt, you were pretty almost correct on your prediction for last season's record. Kenny hit yours right on the head. I don't understand how these guys do it, but let's kind of reflect on last season a little bit, Emmett. I mean, it was full of just, it was Husker fans saying, shit, here we go again. But at the same time, we saw the growth. Granted, the mistakes were there. We know that can be cleaned up. 3 games decided by 3 points, at least or less. There were 3 games, I think it was 13-10 was the final. And I'm not even sure how to word this. But I guess for lack of better words, at the end of the season, what was that feeling?
Man, I'll definitely say it was extremely tough because, we started off the year and, even I think that Colorado game, some people after the first couple games, and a lot of people were giving up on us. I mean, we didn't care. We were in it. But, I mean, then it's like we're sitting at 5-3 middle of the season, and we're just like, we got, 4 more games or whatever to play, 1 game away from a bowl game. We tried to take it as like, we know we need 1 more game for a bowl game, but why can't we go win the Big Ten? Why can't we go do greater things? And, we were working really hard, extremely hard. But like I said, it came down to those 3 points and finishing off games. And that's something we're emphasizing this year because that was definitely a tough feeling. I know Ty Robinson, some of the guys that came back for their 6th year, like they're trying to do big things. They're not trying to have to deal with that. Some of them, like Ramir, hasn't been to a bowl game since he's been here.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
It's like, a lot of the older guys are trying to, preach to the younger guys how important that is. And that's our whole, off-season training is just chasing those 3 points. And this year you should see us start to finish games the way we're supposed to, have great starts. And we know how to handle those situations now is the biggest thing. A lot of guys have played a lot of football, so they know how to handle those close games and everything now. So I know you're going to see me straining and giving everything I got to finish games too. Yeah.
I would have no doubt in my mind about that at all. I mean, watching the way you ran last year, and even Coach Rhule saying he's seen you being bigger, stronger, faster already this season in spring practice. I mean, that speaks volumes in my eyes. So, Matt, anything you wanted to ask Emmett? Any burning questions about last season that maybe, as a fan, you needed clarification on, or anything like that?
Not really when it comes to last season. It's in the past now. We can't change it.
Yeah.
I saw the difference going from Frost to Rhule. I mean, I can see you guys are fighting it, and just the all-around effort is so much better, in my opinion. I mean, we just got to put a couple things together, and I think we'll be really good this year. I think my original prediction was right at 9 wins, but I think we can easily get to 10 or 11. So, questions, not really. So, just ready for the season to start.
I've pretty much given you my prediction on the season. It's that now that the playoff has expanded, there ain't no reason y'all can't hit that number 8 spot.
I mean, in my opinion, we can win every game. I don't really.
Right, I agree.
That's how I feel.
So, I guess if I do have one question, what's your opinion on the 4 new teams coming to the Big Ten?
No, yeah, I think that's great for the Big Ten, especially, some of those teams like UCLA, USC, they're more spread offenses. And,
Yep.
having them come to the Big Ten where we run the ball and it's physical, and that's going to be cool to see how they translate to that, and then for us to see how we translate to the spread offense and being able to do that. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's a good thing that they did. Being able to go to California and play a game for me is that's a nice feeling, and then having a team come to like a team like UCLA come to Nebraska and see what our fans are like and play. I don't know what the weather's going to be, but in the cold and everything,
Yeah.
that's just going to be a cool, experience. So
I bring that up specifically because Lincoln Riley, the head coach for USC, he had some pretty choice words about him coming to the Big Ten, saying that he was just going to outscore everyone. And I watched a lot of their games last year, and it seemed whenever they went up against some good defenses, they didn't do very well. Well, I'm pretty sure the defenses in the Big Ten are a little bit better than the defenses in the Pac-12. So, okay, I would have shut my mouth on that one if I was head coach, but all right.
Wait for them to see our defense.
I know. That's what I'm talking about.
Not to beat a dead horse, but I do remember another certain coach coming from a conference into the Big Ten declaring that, they're going to have to change the way they play for us.
Oh, I agree.
That didn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that expansion, too, I mean, Kenny, that's near and dear to your heart. You live in Pac-12 country, which Pac-12 no more.
Yeah, I will be at the USC game. That's for sure.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I get a couple games, which is an hour flight. Oh, come on, man. Cannot not go to those. So no double negatives and all that I'm speaking. But hey, man, I think it's great. But I'm also a traditionalist of the old conferences and alignment. Unfortunately, I think money and regional biasness has caused what's going on right now. Yeah. So, being in Arizona and 15 minutes from Arizona State, being an Arizona State kid, fan, which was 10 minutes from my house at the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to see that break up, but sometimes I like traditional stuff. I like Oregon playing Oregon State.
Yeah.
I like Washington playing Washington State.
Yeah.
The Apple Cup, the Civil War, hell yeah.
That stuff is traditional stuff. I love Oklahoma, Nebraska. That was broken up.
Yeah, man.
And that was one of Coach Osborne's biggest things. The only time I ever seen him frustrated, actually seen him cry, was the fact that they did that before we played him for that 270th win? What was it?
Yep.
Whatever.
250th, I think.
250th. Yeah, he had tears in his eyes. He was so upset that they switched that up. And he was like, some stuff you just don't do. You don't stop traditional games. So, I mean, it's great. Oregon's been on the roll for the last umpteenth years. Washington goes up and down, but they've been a good program when they're on top.
Sure.
UCLA's always been the USC can be USC. It's the glory school. That's a West Coast kid. Mm-hmm. I said it before. That's a West Coast kid dream school. It's Southern California, it's LA, and it's the USC Trojans. Yeah. They have everything that the Michigan, Ohio State, and Nebraska, and all these cachet that people, need to understand. So bring another school like that into the Big Ten. That's dope. That's pretty dope.
Sure.
I think it'll be fun. I mean, yeah, we had the Pac-12 after dark on Saturday nights, but hey, now it's just going to be Big Ten after dark when it's on the West Coast. That's all it's going to be. It's just a little name change. I am with you, Kenny. I mean, kind of a traditionalist here myself. When the Big 8 broke up and formed the Big 12, I was like, what the hell is this? Then when we left the Big 12 to join the Big 10, I was completely against that at first. But then realized the amount of competition in the Big Ten was so much better. And I just wanted to know where we stood. Yeah. I've gotten that answer, and we're coming back.
Yeah, only reason the Big Ten move didn't surprise a lot of us former players at the time. 1994, 95. Coach Osborne, tell you, man, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of stories you guys hear. You'd be like, what? Coach Osborne comes into the room. He sits there, and this is when we tried to play. He says they're going to form this new conference next year. They want to absorb the swag. Texas is crying about Nebraska's training table. Texas is crying about where the conference championship game is going to be. It's going to be in St. Louis. Texas is crying about Prop 48s. Texas is crying about a walk-on program. And he was just saying their conference is folded. We don't need them. If they were all this great, their conference would still be viable.
Yeah.
I would prefer we go to the Big Ten, 1995. We go up there and we smack them around and show them what's going on. But you got to remember, this is a different Nebraska thing.
Yeah.
So when all of that transpired, when he was acting AD or associate at the time, when they made that move, we weren't shocked. He said that in 1995. He's like, I would prefer we go up there and smack them around because they're going to have it to where we play certain teams every 2 years. You know, that whole alignment thing.
Yeah.
They're talking about breaking up Nebraska, Oklahoma. Just don't do that.
Terrible.
You know, it was a lot of stuff. He was just like, those are traditional rivalry games.
Yeah.
So when we did it, it was just like, when we all got the email, because, you know, they sent all the former player email. We were like, oh, okay. We knew that was coming. Especially with how everything was going and how everything was based on Texas. That's why the game was moved from St. Louis to Texas, from St. Louis to Kansas City to then Texas. Remember that transition?
Yep.
St. Louis, Kansas City, Arrowhead, then it started being in Texas. Big 12 offices had to be in Texas. So, I mean, these guys are eating out, but man, let me tell you, when our training table was training table, we used to have people donate, all kind of stuff. They cried and modified everything. So
yeah, well, we built that new big screen at the stadium, and like 2 weeks later, Texas won up to us.
Yeah,
it's like, what? Are you kidding?
Yeah, well, what can you do? It's Texas money, dude. It's Texas money.
Well, I know.
It's hard to beat.
Well, people got to understand that's the richest alumni in the country.
Yeah,
that's why they're able to do that. Oil money. You're dealing with oil money.
Yep.
So, let me in Texas saying that.
That'd get you almost anywhere.
Yeah, that's why they're able to do what they do. And people say, why do they just hype up Texas? Well, this is why. Even though they haven't done anything outside of the Vince Young team. I mean, but before that, it was 30, 40 years before that.
Yeah,
a long time.
But you hear about them like they just whooping tail every week. So, I mean, well, it is what it is. But cool, man. I'm just glad I just want to see good football, and I want to see us win. That's me, man. I mean, I'm glad to hear about what you guys are doing. I'm glad that you're setting that goal. I want personally you guys to put last season behind you, like you said you've done, like Matt said, like Brian said, and don't settle for bowl game.
Yep.
Your goal should be to play for national championships.
Yep.
Now, some people might say it's unrealistic. Hell, I might even say it's unrealistic. But when your mindset is that, you play a totally different game. And our mindset was national championship, and anything else is a failure. But guess what? When those tight games came, we were thinking, national championship. So it put us over that hump.
Yeah.
We had that scarcity of a close game. And if you guys can get past that, because the last couple of years, man, we've been self-sabotaging.
Yeah. Yep.
And Matt and Brian can attest, we've been self-sabotaging. Yeah. Our teams have been better than the records.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most frustrating thing for us as fans, myself as former players, and us former players, because these kids don't need to know they're better than what their record is. But what do they have to do mentally to get over that? Oh, damn, here it comes again. Don't mess it up. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's one of my things I always say on this podcast. I was waiting for when is it going to happen? Yeah. You guys need to not think like that. And if you're saying you're not thinking like that anymore, you got it under control, shit. Hey, I can see us doing big things, man. That's just my personal opinion.
For sure, man.
And thanks, Kenny. That helps. I mean, we're rolling up on about the 40, 45-minute mark here, and I know you got a busy day ahead of you, Emmett, so we'll get it wrapped up here momentarily.
Sunday. What this guy got to do on a Sunday? Play Call of Duty?
You kidding me? You know, it's spring practice, Kenny. You know they busy.
Man, I got to pull my dinner out of my smoker here in a little bit so I can rest.
Wait a minute. Y'all doing stuff on Sunday, man?
I'm smoking a brisket.
No, Emmett, you guys got things going on.
No, I'm just here taking care of my body, recovering. I mean, yesterday in practice, they said I hit like 1,000-player load, which is like the highest they've seen. So I to take care of my body as much as possible. And then it's Sunday. I watch my church online on Sunday too as well. So.
Now I feel bad for cussing. Now the man's attending church online, and I'm on here just dropping curse words all willy-nilly.
Yeah, what I always say is Sundays is for God, family, and football.
Amen. Amen. All right, real quick, Emmett. I mean, Kenny kind of touched on it about what your guys' mentality is right now, how you're focused on this next season. Last season, forget that. It's done. It's over with. What is the team and the coach's expectations for you guys this coming season?
The team and players' expectations for us this season is really just to, go out there, play as hard as we can every game, be violent every game. And every team that wants to play Nebraska is going to know after we play them, we don't want to play those guys ever again and be on the same field as them ever again. Our biggest thing is just, controlling what we can control, not focusing on other teams, but what we can do. Because as long as we are on the same page and play our best, play the best of our ability, I don't think any team can beat us. And so that's kind of the mindset of our whole team right now, is just focus on what, we can control. And that's, showing up to practice every day, not looking far ahead, but just looking like days like today. How can I be better? How can I recover my body so that when it comes Monday, Tuesday, I'm ready to practice? How can I watch extra film so that I know that, when it comes Monday, Tuesday, I can be a step ahead of everybody else and know that, I already know what I got to work on. I already know the mistakes I made. And just have a player-led team. Coaches are going to coach us, but the best teams, I think, are the player-led teams. And so when it's coming from the players, I feel like we're going to be a special team. So, yeah.
I love it. I really do, and I can't wait. I mean, we're, like I said, less than 3 weeks from the spring game. If I get the chance while I'm there, Emmett, I'll holler at you on the sideline, try and get a pic with you if possible, if you ain't too busy. Matt, you'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there with the whole fam.
I know damn well Kenny won't be there. It's too cold here for him. This man will not visit back here unless it's about 100 degrees. This dude got a flu or a cold for like a month after being here in like 60-degree weather.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Nah, that was no. It wasn't 60 degrees. That was what game was that?
That was the Purdue game, wasn't it?
Man, that was like 20 degrees, 15. No, it was super cold. That's when people left at halftime. That's how cold it was.
That was a pretty cold game. But I mean, he can come back when we're playing for the college playoff game at home when we get a home seat. So that's
So, yeah, man, that cold weather. I've been debating. I might pull up. I don't know. I might come last minute, but
for sure.
I don't know. In third person talking, Kenny has to check the weather.
All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and shut her down now. I suppose that we've talked about everything we can. I know Emmett can't divulge too much that him and the coaches and the team talk about. Locker room talk is locker room talk. That's where it stays. So, I mean, yeah, this is the point where, Emmett, where can everybody find you on social media, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Emmett J _ is my Instagram. Twitter is Emmett Johnson _ It's pretty much the same on every platform, Emmett J _ or Emmett J _ 21. But leaving off, I just want to say thanks to you guys, man. I know you guys follow the game, and you guys are, big Husker fans. And Kenny, especially you as a player, I have a lot of respect for what you guys did in the past, and all the advice and stuff that you just gave was just great. And it's always good to learn from, the ones who came before. Even when I'm done playing this game, I want to be able to give back to the other ones that come after me. So just want to say thanks for you guys, and thanks for giving me your time today.
Appreciate that, man. We honestly are thankful that you're on here, man. We know you guys are busy. We know it's spring football. We know that's time consuming. We know it's mentally and physically time consuming. I'm sure the guys can agree. But man, we just always remember, bro, and you're hearing it from me, and I'm pretty sure this is every other former player. Our criticisms and what our expectations come from a place of love and wanting to see you guys do well. It's never meant from a place of like, oh, he did this and that. It's never meant from a place of malice and to deter you guys and be critical in a negative way. It's from a place of we want you guys to expect more from yourself than we expect from you.
Yep.
And if you guys and the players understand that, then they'll get where we come from when we're just like, it's we want them to want it more than we want them to want it. So that when they're done, they pass that same thing down because we wanted it more than the guys before us, and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth.
Sure.
And that's what it's about. Nebraska's always been about, and a lot of people say it in their teams because there's college teams, the players don't care about their teammates. They don't deal with the guys that's coming in after them. And once they're done with school, they're done.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's not us.
Yeah.
That's not the Nebraska fan base. They're 1,000. 365, 24/7 from cradle to the grave. Us former players are your strongest supporters from the time we leave there till we hit the grave. It is, trust me, we have text group of all of us where we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We could have did this and we could have did that.
Yeah.
And these are guys that are NFL guys, there's a Pro Bowl guys, and these some of us who got a chance and it's in guys that play in Nebraska, from walk-ons to the starter. Yeah. Sure. And our whole conversation is we want them to want it and understand what they're playing for, who they're playing for, and want them to want it more than we want them to want it. So that's good, man. You guys get that, man. You guys will be good, man. Because we hate losing. we hear about it. Trust us, we hear about it more than you guys do. Yeah. Because that's how much our program is revered and respected.
Yeah.
We still talk about losses we had 30 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they bring it up to you guys. I got to hear about the Arizona State loss in 1996. Pretty much every time. They still show that game.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, hey, man, we appreciate it, bro. I mean, I could keep going, but you guys, man, if you guys got that, man, hey, you're always going to have our support. We're going to be rough, but it's from a place of love because we support you guys.
I appreciate it. I watched a lot of Kobe and Michael Jordan too, and it's like the biggest thing Kobe I can take away from him is like the fear of regret. That's the worst pain you can have in life, and I just feel like being here, being in this facility, having my school paid for, like I feel like I should just go out there every day and give it all I can, even for my family, because like you don't want to look back and be like, I wish I could have did this, I wish I could have. Like we're in it now, so that's what I'm trying to preach is just to live in this moment and just get the most out of each day.
Take advantage of it.
Yep.
Man, I got to tell you, guys, this was a blast. Emmett, thank you so much for the kind words. It was our pleasure to have you on. It really was. I love having former Huskers on. To me, it's a little bit more special to have current ones on because we get more of a feel of what you guys are going through, what the team's feeling, what the coaches are feeling, and then you guys can get a sense of how us fans are feeling.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to communicate, great way to come together, and I can't thank you enough for doing this, taking the time out of your day.
So I appreciate you guys, man.
All right, guys. Well, we'll shut it down. You know where to find Matt, Herbie Husker 15. KC is also Husker Noop 1911. And just give us a follow at the Husker Army Pod or subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, all of it. All the audio platforms, we're there. YouTube's a lot of fun, though, because you get to see us interact. Some cool clips thrown in. You never know what might be in the episode. So, we'll go ahead and shut her down now. So, for myself, Brian Knutson, former Husker wide receiver, Mr. Kenny Cheatham, a.k.a. KC, our Husker recruiting guru, Mr. Matt Sass, a.k.a. Herbie Husker, and our special guest today, current Husker running back, Mr. Emmett Johnson. Thank you so much. Hope to have you on again soon. So, Husker Nation, Husker Army, you know what to do. At ease, and you are all dismissed.
Tell Coach Brown I'm going to give him a two-piece when I see him.
I got you.
I'm keeping that clip in there, Kenny. I'm keeping that clip in there. That's staying in.